NBA Today with Malika Andrews, live from Los Angeles.
The Celtics are coming.
My goodness.
Yo, what a night, New York City, heard it going down. Slash machines, ding, 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 when they ring off.
That's a bad man. That's why he's an all-star starter.
History, that is a whole lot of buckets. So Kendrick Perkins, I ask you, with so many fun games, what was the word of the day on last night's action?
Well, look, after a glorious night of NBA and guys putting up monster numbers, I got to pull out a word of the day to start this day off right, and it's Genesis, okay? The origin of something when it has begun or starts to exist. Listen, Adam Silver, if you was in studio right now, I'd give you a fat kiss on the cheek. You know why? Because you came up with the play-in tournament. It has been one of the best things that's happened to the NBA. You know why, Malika? Because the playoffs has officially started for a lot of teams, whether they trying to stay in the playoffs or get into the play-in tournament and keep their spot to have a chance to get into the postseason. So we saw last night and we witnessed stars starring, but we also witnessed guys competing at a high level because every game matters right now.
All right, Perk. Well, we're still trying to understand, right, the genesis of the Luka trade, to use your word of the day. But a new era is in Dallas. It is underway. The Mavs, they took on the new-look Warriors last night. It felt like a playoff game type of atmosphere when these two took the court. So let's pick it up, Perk, in the third quarter here. Steve Kerr, as the Warriors crept back into this game, his temper got a little hot.
He doing all that crying. What the babies go do? He should have had them more disciplined defensively because Dallas had whatever they wanted.
Out at midcourt there, in timeout, yelling at an official. He would get teed up there. And then a few minutes later, Kyrie Irving hits a three. What a game for Kyrie.
This stretch right there was crazy. He had three straight. I think this is the last one of them.
Yeah, that is absolutely right, Shams. Kyrie Irving nails the three again there. So let's go ahead to the fourth quarter here, Perk. Just over 5 to play. The Warriors down by 7. Steph Curry hits the corner three.
I mean, look, wide open. The ball movement was beautiful. You can't leave him off a pin down right here. Got him again.
Curry with the wing once again. Golden State now in front. Under 2 to play. All tied up at 104. Irving hits the right wing. Dallas now up by 3.
He loves that side of it.
And then minute and a half left to play. Still a 3-point game. Dallas turnover. Moses Moody misses it, but there's Jimmy Butler to clean it up inside, Kendrick.
I mean, that's what one of the reasons they brought him in. Jimmy does everything. Jack of all trades.
Huge bucket here for Najee Marshall. Hits the floater to put the Mavericks up by 2. So Perk, 23 seconds left in the game. Golden State down by 2. Butler drives. Blocker charge.
Charge.
Steve Kerr would review it, but the call would stand as a charge. Here's Irving talking to Scott Van Pelt about the game and taking this charge.
You got to put your body on the line, Scott. You got to put your body on the line, man. You got to leave it all out there. This is what the NBA is about.
Put his body on the line, he did, and 42 points on the night. Dallas gets the win, 111-107, and we knew this. Kyrie, certified bucket. Last night, he became the 4th player in Mavericks history with a game of 40 points, made 60% of his shots. he did have no assists. It was one of the first things he told our friend Scott Van Pelt after the game is that he thought he should have maybe had more assists. But he is the Mavs engine right now, down so many players here. So let's welcome in our Mavericks reporter, Tim McMahon. Howdy, Tim. You were in the building last night, and obviously we've covered in depth how devastated the Mavs fan base has been after this Luka Doncic trade, but it seemed a little bit lighter in the arena last night. How was the atmosphere? You were there.
Howdy, Malika. You called it a playoff-like atmosphere. I'm going to say it's more like a March Madness type of atmosphere, and that's partially because there was a whole lot of Warriors fans in the building, almost like a neutral crowd. They were outnumbered, but anytime the Warriors are on the road, there's going to be a lot. Probably a few more Mavericks fans were motivated to sell their tickets this time. Honestly, I was surprised that there weren't. I didn't hear any type of fire Nico chants, those sort of protests. There wasn't the crazy security activity, the over-aggressive security activity that there was on Monday night. And listen, Kyrie Irving gave the Mavericks fans that were in the building something to cheer about. This was a spectacular shot-making performance by Kyrie Irving. This was the kind of performance the Mavericks desperately needed. Their leader, the guy who was the leader when Luka was here, the guy who is definitely the leader of this team now, to deliver. And it wasn't just about the shot making. It wasn't just about the energy, the calm that he's had really since he's been here, but definitely throughout this entire ordeal it's unfolded over the last couple weeks. As he said, as he told SVP, he put his body on the line with the game on the line. That's leadership. It's not just do as Kyrie says, it's do as he does.
And this was certainly a morale boost that the Mavs fan base and the team seemed to need heading into the All-Star break. Tim McMahon, adios amigo. Thank you so very much. The Warriors, the Mavs, just one of 15 total games around the association last night. So let's go coast to coast on the action with our senior.
So much bad press for the Mavs after the Luka Doncic trade, but some good news last night. Kyrie Irving scored 42 points in a 111-107 win over the Warriors. They did it without Anthony Davis, who's still hurt. Golden State suffered its first loss with Jimmy Butler, and Steve Kerr's frustration boiled over. He got a tech, and after the game, he talked about priorities.
That's what makes this loss even more frustrating, is that, we're going to get into Houston at 3 o'clock, whatever it is, because, the NBA and its infinite wisdom makes us play an 8:45 game, and they clearly don't care about rest or player health. It's just ratings and all that stuff. So I get it. Everyone's got to do it. The whole league's got to do it.
All right, so Perk, the Warriors came out on the losing end last night. How do you assess where they are as they go into this All-Star break?
Look, if Steve Kerr go do all that damn crying, what the babies go do? Leave some rooms for the baby. Leave some rooms for the baby. Nobody want to hear that. Everyone has to play back-to-back. That's part of it. That's what you get paid the big bucks. No one cares. But when it comes down to the Golden State Warriors, right, do I think they're a legit title contender this year? Hell no. But do I think they're a playoff team that's a first-round exit? Absolutely. But what they did do is they gave Steph Curry life. A guy that we've seen a lot of times this season look defeated. When you go out and you get a guy like Jimmy Butler, who could be a bona fide second option to Steph Curry, and give him life, that's a good step in moving in the right direction. Again, I think this team is a year away. They definitely need to address their roster this offseason and get some necessary pieces around Jimmy and Steph that could make them legit title contenders.
But don't you feel like this team, these players specifically, when you think about Jimmy Butler, does better in the playoffs?
They do, but they just don't have the personnel, Christine.
Okay.
And when you look around the league and you look at the top dogs, just in the Western Conference, right? The Dallas Mavericks healthy. Their starting five is